Hey, friends and family. Hey, loved ones. Hey, magicians and gardeners and fools. Hey, creators and artists, alchemists and tools. How y'all fools doing today? You lovable fools. So that's what I'm embracing today is the fool and that I don't know mind. And also that faith and that innocence and that childlike innocence, that faith that we have in the divine and in ourselves and in our path. Yeah, as we're on it and it unfolds before us. Yeah. So it's been interesting, of course, and fascinating and invigorating and intense and yeah, discombobulating in certain ways. But it's all been, yeah, a legit stage phase cycle of this journey. So yeah, just looking at all that and the last, yeah, some things that I've been expressing, just seeing more into it, just so many things about how yeah, I do appreciate each part, its part in the totality. And so rather than removing or cutting out certain things, yeah, just working on acceptance and how to work with certain things or play with certain things or allow them to be or allow them to unfold or transform or teach me or show me or reveal themselves to me or fall away. Just fall away if that's what it gets to be. That from detaching from certain thoughts or certain beliefs or certain ways of how I think it's supposed to be or how I'm supposed to be, and just letting go and being here in the moment. Yeah, and being love for me through this and everything, through all these things and all these ways and all the ways it gets to be, and taking the responsibility for my choices and how I get to respond and take care of me and choose what I need for me and show up for others in my own ways, like the ways that I can, the ways that feel right for me, or listen to my intuition, just show up and be. And trust, yeah, that my presence is enough and that, yeah, love is enough. And to trust in this whole thing, making the room, making the space, yeah, for the other's participation and being patient, yeah, with timing. Yeah, all the things. Just, wow, just the gifts of surrender and trusting and being willing. Being willing to accept the things I cannot change. And so, but being willing to accept, yeah, the responsibility for the things that I can change. And the things that I can change are my own mind and my own life and the way that I show up in my relationships and the way that I communicate in my relationships. And yeah, just being present in different ways and in more full ways, more authentic ways, more true, full, whole ways. So yeah, just swimming and playing and working and inviting and yeah, allowing certain things just to be and to be received. So I have gotten a lot of messages and I have received a lot this week. Yeah, a lot of messages from the bird realm this week and from my animal friends that I'm so grateful for always. And I love my direct relationship with them, through my ways of being and through my authenticity and through my appreciation and my inclusivity and my honoring of all of we, yeah, all the beauty that I see all around me, all of it within me and reflected, yeah, all around me. And that's beautiful to me. So there are a ton of synchronicities and messages that I received the last 2 days. And I do want to share some of those things because they're just so great and profound synchronicities. And gifts for me to receive and share and offer. So, yeah, it's been amazing, really, working with all these things and showing up and participating more consciously, and giving myself the space to learn and to grow and to be. And so there's been so much that has come up lately, and it's really, interesting to see like how quickly some of those old programs can be interrupted now or redirected, like my focus and attention redirected to what's really true for me, and like what's more aligned with what I'm choosing and where I'm going. And so like when certain judgments come up or certain stories come up, or certain signal reactions, I'm witnessing and observing like what the stories are, what the scripts are, or what the default settings or automatic strategies, or what is activated like by certain words or certain stories or certain attachments or certain roles, connected to certain wounds or old ways of operating, just learned ways, for survival. And just those unconscious machinations and mechanisms that keep me in feedback loops, or those old patterns. So it's super interesting to see it all and to see it as a coherent whole, even like the things that seem so jumbled and don't make sense, and realizing that they do have a place, and rearranging and restructuring certain things. Of course they're going to come up, and so that's just an invitation for me to keep playing and just letting it be, instead of needing to fix it or anything, just going, oh, there that is, that's cool, there's that story again. And thank you, I appreciate like this opportunity, and I appreciate this person, but I'm going to pray for them because I love them, instead of like being disappointed or having resentments, or choosing to hold on to resentments or whatnot about things. And so because I am like so so ready to move on and move forward, like because moving into joy and moving into this new life, stepping into this new life, and a lot of it has to do with letting go of the old identity and choosing to be free with everything, allowing that for myself and all other beings. And a lot of that is just letting go of what I think, and letting go of what they choose to see, what they choose to think, what they choose to believe, because there are certain things that I can't control, and why would I want to? And it's not up to me to do that. And so just let it be. So like not even like even controlling like my own mind, but like mastering and redirecting and paying attention, and making my choices and setting my intentions. So I was just thinking about like the things that I had a hard time accepting, and like how do I make peace with that, And so I have done a lot of work with that, like especially this last year, and realizing certain things that I hadn't seen before. And like stepping out of that judgment and really like, suspension, just going into suspension, and then being able to see more clearly and change the direction through changing that perception, or widening that perception, opening to a new perception, a new point of view. And so this is something I just wrote down this morning. It's thinking about acceptance and moving into acceptance, accepting things that I cannot change and accepting the non-acceptance. Accepting things I cannot change and accepting the non-acceptance. And acceptance for the things that I can change, accepting the exception for the non-acceptance, and accepting responsibility for the things I get to change. My acceptance. acceptance for that responsibility. So I can accept that I can change my mind, and I get to change, my ways of operating. I get to change, and I get to choose the choices, I get to show up and I get to make for me. Accepting that, being appreciative of that, and appreciating that everyone has their own choices and their own peace available, and they can choose or reject it. And so, something that I heard last night, and it was like, ooh, I love that. So I was listening to the intuitive reading for astrological energies this week on Molly McCord's channel. It was August 25th through September 1st. And what she said in there was see everyone as powerful. If we see everyone as powerful, what choices do we get to make for ourselves? Yeah, I wrote it down. Maybe I'll find it in a minute. But that was just something I was see, everyone is powerful. If everyone is powerful and we just get to make our choices, what choices do we get to make, and what will those choices look like? Because those choices are for us. And so there is a theme around acceptance and patience and choices. Yeah. And it was really freaking amazing and awesome. Yeah, and so I'm just looking at my choices that I have right now, because I was looking at the saboteur and how the saboteur can sabotage us from seeing or recognizing or showing up to claim or choose to receive certain opportunities. Yeah, and so just looking at little choices and big choices, and those internal choices that do lead to huge choices that do impact big parts of our lives and our direction, So just looking at all those things and seeing how little choices do add to all the other choices that we get to choose. So extending the freedom of that choice. I want that for myself. So I'll allow that, and I'll offer that, and I'll claim that for myself, and I'll receive that for myself. I'll offer that to myself, but and I'm also willing to offer that to all others. So there's an interesting card reading that I did yesterday with all of these beautiful messages, that relate. I'll share those in a few minutes. So moving into acceptance and being willing to extend that acceptance to everyone else, to choose for themselves what it is that they accept or reject individually, and that we all accept or reject individually and collectively. So it's a lot of letting go, being love, being true, being free, being me, loving me, allowing me, accepting we. And not agreeing necessarily, but agreeing that we can agree to agree or disagree. And we are all part of the same thing, existing at different degrees. I can accept our differences and the different choices that we get to make, the different lives we get to live, and all the things we get to experience, live, and create. And accepting that we do all have our own sovereignty, autonomy, and our legitimate right to be, and our legitimate right to be who we are and who we get to be, fully and freely. So let it be. And trust in this thing, and respond, and let go, and play, and let love be. Let love show me. And let love be expressed, and let love be received. So choice and choices. So it was pretty great. Yesterday there was a lot of releasing and a lot of just letting go and showing up, and the I don't know, okay, I don't know. So there's so many great things, I don't know where to begin, but I guess we're talking about choice here and acceptance, and so I'll just go into this choice. So I asked my husband to order me some books. I bought a lot of books. I received a lot of books for my birthday, a lot of books that I've wanted, and I've been reading a lot the last couple days. And I also opened up and consecrated my new cards, one box of oracle cards that I asked for, Dreams of Gaia, Tarot. It's such a beautiful deck and such beautiful artwork. And I haven't explored the whole deck yet. I just opened it last night with the first few cards that I got to look into and reading this book that goes along with it. It's just wow, this really was a gift for me to receive and to ask for and to make the space for and to work with and play with and invite to reveal the things that I needed and have asked to see, made space for, to receive. So choice and choices, the choice card definitely resonates with me, and it definitely jumped out at me and popped up for me to receive and to recognize. And so I've had lots of Lord of the Rings synchronicities and Harry Potter synchronicities even before I went on my birthday trip last week, and so it was really cool to see that Harry Potter castle and that Hobbit house and explore those things and appreciate those things. And that's what I have been doing a lot of lately, is just appreciating things, when certain things come up. And it's just wow, that just shows me how much I really do appreciate this person in my life, because look at what they're helping me with, and look at how they have been there, in different phases and stages of my life, or they haven't been there in certain ways, so I could show up for myself in different ways. So it's so great, this new appreciation, instead of trying to rehash what was wrong about the old thing. And it's just no, that was totally right, even though it didn't feel very good, and even though it was really hard, and oh my gosh, it helped me face certain parts of myself and where I had been rejecting me, and where I could choose to claim to show up for me, and where I could be my love for me that I needed, that I wasn't receiving outside of me. It was an invitation to come back home to me, and that's what I got to receive, and that's what I got to choose for me. So I'm so grateful for the separation and the rejection and the lessons in loyalty and being true to me and showing up for me and being playful and unconditionally loving and remembering who I am, that I'm gentle, strength, and loving kindness and peaceful acceptance. That's me. That's who I am, and that's who I choose to be, even when I'm not in that space and feeling all of me is worthy or right to be, just knowing that it is all part and it's legit to be. So choices and choice points. And so lots of Harry Potter synchronicities. So the last week been looking at the Dumbledore quotes on my Geek Wisdom, because in this little castle that this artist and amazing master in his own right had built these things, and all the details really made the difference, all the things that made up everything about it, that made it whole and made it what it was. And it was just wow, it was so cool. So looking at certain details of things too, because there could be little clues. But just appreciation to all the love and all of the attention that does go into something a labor of love, that's something that we really do love, that does brings joy while creating it, and brings joy to others, sharing those creations and those emanations that emanate from us. And that's another huge thing that's come up lately, so big, was that initiation, that emergence, and that emanation. Regeneration. All these messages from the divine feminine wisdom, and from her knowing, her gnosis, her inner knowing, and knowing who she is, and all those things. And then knowing, her creation. That her creation is an extension, an emanation of herself. So what are we creating? And is that based? Is that heart-based, or whole-based, self-based, faith-based, faith-filled, all those things. But the emanation, so I received some amazing things about that, and I'll share a little more into that. But just blown away, like, by all the things that I've received yesterday. And it's just like gold nuggets, like, streaming in, like all these gold coins. It's the spiritual wealth and knowledge. And the love that I asked to receive for me, for my well-being and service to the whole and humanity, so that I can change and free myself from this pain and this suffering, and help to relieve some of the suffering that I see around me, and be a blessing to others and to myself, because we're not separate. Although we do have our own lives to live, and our own like energy fields, and our own like essences, our own individual, we all are like part of each other and part of that great collective, and part of her heart, our mother and our father. And so like really seeing like that parent and that child and that partner, and really living like and opening and making the space for all those interchangeable aspects to cooperate and to reciprocate and to grow and participate and like be included and honored, like as the legit parts of the whole that they are, and seeing that like in so many ways, like inner and outer and near and far, and how it all does and how it all is, and how we all are. Yeah, in the zero ways. So I'm going to read about the choice card, and also I wanted to share this quote, this Harry Potter quote from my Geek Wisdom. It is not our abilities that show what we truly are, it is our choices. And so on my Geek Wisdom, there's a little story about who said it, Dumbledore, the story behind this quote. And this quote comes during the final moments of the Chamber of Secrets. And Harry just defeated the basilisk, and Dumbledore praises the boy who lived for his accomplishment. Harry, however, is troubled as he noticed that he has a lot of similarities with Tom Riddle, the boy who had become Voldemort, at least in the films. While Dumbledore agrees that the two share some traits, he does with the quote explaining that they don't have to be the same. So the Geek Wisdom that's offered: it is not our outward appearance, nor the skills and talents that we have that determine what we will become. That will always be up to you. No one can tell you that you should be something just because of your appearance. It's up to you to determine that. And yeah, and I would go further than that and say not just our appearance, but like our self-image, or like what's projected on us, or what we're labeled as, or how we're perceived, you know, how we're judged or how we're named, or in like with the labels and the stereotypes and those descriptions that are used to create signal reactions and push certain agendas, and that lead to division and pain, fear, blame, suffering, perpetuating more of the same, suffering and disease, you know, all that unclaimed, unprocessed, unexplored power or misdirected energy. Seeing how like certain things are used, and that's part of what I couldn't accept, was that like manipulation, and how certain people are always being painted so that it causes an emotional reaction. So that's like, yeah, part of that manipulation and exploitation through our emotional body of pain, through like our own sensitivities, yeah, and how sometimes that can be our undoing. Like, yeah, just being the compassionate people that we are, but not paying attention to how, like, certain things, how we're reacting to certain things, or how we're being manipulated to be influenced to choose certain things. Yeah, so anyways, I hope that makes a little bit of sense. But like for choice, and using the tarot as a mirror, I want to include this little part here because this is one of my things. Like, I've always used the mirror, and that's always been a profound symbol that's held so much for me. Not just like in the physical reality, like looking at myself, looking into myself, and judging myself, or comparing myself, and all those things are coming up, comparison stories, and and also like really appreciating like having that other like show me different things about myself that I wouldn't be able to see without them, because there are certain things of ourselves that we cannot see, we cannot know directly, but like through the other and through that reflection, we can like get to see things and get to see ourselves. Like we can see ourselves in in her, and in the beauty and all the things that we love all around us. We can see ourselves. We can start to learn how to see ourselves, like in that, and through that love that we love, and through the love that always loves us. So the tarot is a mirror. The tarot is a mirror both of life and the individual. Just as it is in life, so it is in the tarot. No single moment or experience is free of influence from internal or external sources. We are energetic beings. All that is matter is energy, and the energy of one can and does influence the energy of another. Everything within your environment is influenced by you, just as everything within your environment can influence you in subtle or profound ways. The tarot is influenced by your energy and the energy around you, and will show you a reflection of your life, just as a mirror will show you a reflection of self. But just as we sometimes look in the mirror and see only what we want to see, the tarot will sometimes only show what it feels we are willing to accept. Remember, the eyes see only what the mind is willing to conceive. For the tarot to be of greatest help, we must be willing to both look deeper and to acknowledge what we may not wish to see. There will be times when a card or an entire spread will offer options we do not like, or reveal ideas, perspectives, and truths that we want to reject. It is important to remain open-minded and to trust that we are being shown, because it is time and we are strong enough to accept the truths the tarot reveals. To get the best out of a reading, we must let go of our own projections, preconceived ideas, expectations, and fears, and trust in the information offered. We are not always going to get pretty, sugar-coated, glossy readings that are full of positive cards and affirming messages, but we will be offered an impartial and objective point of view that will benefit us the most if we look closely at what is offered with the same impartiality and honesty. So wow, that was something I read this morning after I had written that thing about acceptance and choice. And so it was just like, wow, I flipped this open so that I could look at choice, and that's what I received. And I super appreciate it. So only you can flesh out their meaning to you by giving them greater personal relevance and interpret their pertinence in your life. And so, that was pretty amazing. And so 0, choice. But, when it's talking about the deck structure, that caught my eye. And it said the choice card is the single most important card in the deck, for the very premise of Dreams of Gaia Tarot is that everything comes back to choice. All that we are and all that we become is governed by the choices that we and those around us make, and how they in turn create and influence our reality. So that was very interesting. So here we are. The choice card is number 0 in this deck. And choice, the key words are choice, options, opportunity, free will, self-determination, mindfulness, manifestation, cause and effect, reward, consequence, and procrastination. The key phrases: choice creates reality, belief is a choice, inaction is a choice, the choice is yours, determine your direction, the past has influence, choice offers reward or consequence, weigh your options, choose wisely, stop procrastinating, be responsible for your choices. Awareness empowers. And I thought that was amazing. And so they have like the meaning, like part of the card in here. And then there are like the present, the past, and the future, and then a potential blockage. So there are all these different ways that this card could be, received in the spread, in the placement, of which it's received to, form that message. Yeah, so it's so cool. And I feel like the present really resonates right now with me. And of course, the meaning of the choice card. Yes, all that you are, all that you have learned and experienced is born of choice. The choices you have made, the choices others have made on your behalf, or choices they have made for themselves that have impacted on or influenced your life. You may believe that you have no choice, but that in itself is a choice. You may also exercise your right to allow others to decide for you. This too is a choice. You may believe that you have too many options and allow this to confuse and cloud your ability to choose. Yeah, this is yet another choice. You are free to choose or allow others to choose for you. You can choose blindly or with care. You can choose to act or procrastinate. You can make your choices wisely with knowledge and awareness or make them in ignorance. Whether you choose to believe it or not, you are blessed with free will, the power to act and choose independently and determine your future. You are a product of your choices and the choices of others. All that surrounds you within your environment is the result of your choices and the choices of others. All comes back to choice. So the present. In this moment exists an opportunity to create or transform your future. You stand at the crossroads. The past is behind you and the future lies ahead. Now is the time to take control of your life and determine the direction you wish to take. Be both mindful of and responsible for the choices you make in the present. Take note of how your relationships, beliefs, and emotional state are influencing you. Do you see opportunities and options available to you in abundance? Yes. Or are your opportunities few and your options limited? Are you a glass half full or a glass half empty kind of person? Use this moment to take stock. Ask yourself if the decision you have before you is being overly influenced by your relationship with another. Are you choosing in order to make someone else happy or to make yourself happy? Is your choice fraught with risk? Have you given thought to the potential consequences or rewards of this particular course of action? Remember, the choice is yours, whether that choice involves taking a risk, allowing someone else to choose for you, or giving another's happiness and well-being more importance than your own. It is even your choice to do nothing at all. When the choice card appears in the present, you are being asked to make your decision with the awareness that your choices define you and have real power. Your choices create your present and future reality, and for good or for ill, will have an impact not only on you, but also on those around you. So I thought that was pretty amazing and powerful, and I super appreciated that. So choice. Here's to our choices and the choices that we've made and the things that we've chosen. And here's to free will and to our own power and our own right to choose and our own right to be. Yeah, who we choose and who we get to become. Yeah, through those choices. So choice and choices. Allow others their autonomy and their freedom to choose and be. I'm looking at the outsider, ego, soul, self strategies, all those strategies. Yeah, to navigate through these changes. Stepping into a new life and telling, sharing, projecting, emanating new mythos, accounts, and stories through embodying and practicing empathy rather than reinforcing small and familiar identities and playing in authentic, defensive autopilot into those signal reactions that contribute to energy leaks and drains, perpetuating disempowering patterns and the shame, guilt, blame, name games. Yeah, so, yay. Definitely. Thank you for the choice and the choice to accept the things that I cannot change. And yeah, so there the other cards that came up for me with this little deck, this beautiful deck. Wow, that I got to receive. One was the Father card, and that was so perfect for me. We'll see what wants to be shared around that one. The first card that came up was the death and rebirth card, and that's number 8 in there, and that is like huge right now for me. Death and rebirth and being reborn. Yeah. So, and being in that crossroads too. Yeah. So I know like what direction I'm moving into, and that's life, and living this new life and embodying this new life and receiving it for me fully. And yeah, and just letting go of the old, even though it feels like some of it feels personally devastating, and then some of it feels like really scary too. So, yeah, just because of it's unknown, it's the fear of the unknown. And I'm worried about getting it right or doing it right or appearing right or yeah, wanting to please others and knowing that like, yeah, maybe like it's, yeah, I can't do that, but I'm willing to like share love and joy and truth and goodness and appreciation and all good things, yeah, with others. It's just up to them, I guess, like whether or not like they're open to receive. And yeah, and that's up to them. So that's like one of the things that was like nudging me to see was that there are certain things that I can't control. I can't control others' thoughts, perceptions, feelings, and reactions, and why would I want to? Like, it's up to them. Like, it's their energy, and it's their energy and part of their self that they get to recognize, value, appreciate, and master, and realize for themselves. So, like, coming back to that quote again, like, see everyone is powerful because everyone has the power. Everyone has the power to be and the power to choose and the power to see. And so it's like, what kind of choices would I make? Yeah, when I see everyone is powerful, like I can let go of the need to feel like responsible for them. Of course, I can offer different things, but it's up to them if they want to receive that. Yeah. And yeah, I can just let it go and let it be and love them where they're at and love them for like who they really are and who they are for me and who they are for themselves and who they are for we. Yeah, because we're all different things to different people. Yeah, and we all show up in different ways and we all teach each other different things, show each other different things, reflect and project different things so that we can like come back to ourselves, or we can see something that we haven't seen about ourselves, or a choice that we have that we can make for ourselves. So it is really cool, like in all those ways. And so like there's a lot of things coming up around like how am I supposed to do like this new thing, or yeah, like, or yeah, it was like kind of like worries about the future and the past as well. So like kind of letting go and like just being here now, like focusing, but paying attention, listening to those voices and those stories that are coming up about like worries about how are things going to be perceived, how are they going to go, yeah, all those things. How do I step into this new role and all that and be true to me, like, and seeing some of those fears about, oh God, what if I make a mistake, or what if I hurt someone, or like trying to avoid pain as well. Like, oh, I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to feel that pain again, that suffering, that shame, or that humiliation, or that rejection in those things. And so it's just like, oh, so like the monkey mind and like showing me different things where I can change my mind and I can let certain things go and I can trust in this thing and make my choices from a space of clarity, yeah, and faith and trust, like that I'll learn and I'll grow and that I'll be accountable. I'm willing to be accountable, like, yeah, for any mistakes and learn, yeah. And take those mistakes and thank them and appreciate them for teaching me things that I didn't know, or that I get to know, I get to remember, I get to learn, yeah, through my own growth, through my own challenges, yeah. And allow that for myself and allow that for all others. So allow it to be part of the whole. So the comparison, measuring, competition themes, and giving the ego a new task, serving the concerns of the soul, self, whole, rather than the false image and false control. So live, love, trust, forgive all. Just be you, let go, and free all of you. Free you all. A journey unfolds in a million perfect ways. Love all your ways, always. Enjoy your life and live it through your ways. Love all ways, always. All your ways, live all your ways. Through joy, love, wonder, play. Through every way you are and get to be and play. Your parts, and you're the star of the play. Yeah, you're the star of your own play. So give myself permission to hold space and be, face my fears that I will hurt someone or make mistakes or look like a fool. I've been afraid of hurting those I love and other random innocence with what? My innocence and love or my power? Possible carelessness or inattentiveness or imperfection? Not being good enough, smart enough, strong enough, quick enough. Letting them and myself down. Yeah. Resentments, fears of resentments, judgments, rejection, condemnation, and humiliation. Yeah, so that's like my wounded child. And so like showing up and saying, oh, I'm so sorry that you were hurt and I'm here for you now, you know? And like sending love to that part of myself that didn't receive what she needed when she really needed it. Even like the person I was like last year when I felt like people had turned away from me because they didn't like what I was offering and what I was sharing and what I was receiving and experiencing, and felt like rejected and like I wasn't pleasing them, and it didn't look, and it wasn't pleasing, like, but it was just something I had to express for me, and it was, part of my journey of learning how to authentically feel, meet, recognize, respond to my anger and to my pain and suffering that I was feeling, and working through that and playing through that and expressing myself and learning and growing through that, going through that, allowing myself to move through it. Yeah, and so like kind of beating myself up about certain things, like, man, I probably could have like expressed that maybe in certain different ways, but maybe it was okay, like exactly the ways that I did express things and express like my disenchantment and my anger and my disappointment and my like outrage at the manipulation and the lies and just everything that I saw that was tearing us apart and manipulating, exploiting us and perpetuating suffering. Like that was like what was hurting and killing and squashing and ripping my heart apart, and I just I got to get in there and get messy. And I didn't like direct my hostility or my anger like directly at anyone in particular, but it was like a generalized thing, and I was like upset with certain individuals for not getting it or for not responding in certain ways that I really wanted them to respond, but like just like seeing it all in hindsight now, and like knowing that it was perfectly imperfect, perfectly perfect for what it needed to be for this healing to take place and for things to come up and for us to meet and to see, and process and attend to and care for, show up for, make the room for, all those things. So when we can see, or when we see everyone is powerful, what choices can we make for ourselves? And so, there was some funny synchronicities. I haven't listened to the whole podcast of that I was talking about, Molly McCord's intuitive astrological energies for the week. I watched most of it last night, but that was something that I definitely like, I'm gonna remember that. And she also was saying, we're going to circle back. And so I thought that was fun because I've been playing with that this week. Circle back. We'll circle back. We'll circle back. Circle back. Yeah, and just playing and just like getting out of my own way and just like, geeking it up working it out, expressing and embracing all my ways, and embracing this Hayoka that lives in me, this emotional empath, that has some amazing gifts through this great empathy, and seeing that, it is more of it's more of an empathy coming from a place of empathy than a rigid identity that is gonna really free the space and help me navigate through these changes. So definitely. So looking at the outsider and the eagle soul self strategies to navigate these changes, stepping into a new life and telling, sharing, projecting, emanating new mythos, accounts, and stories through embodying and practicing empathy rather than reinforcing small and familiar identities, and playing into inauthentic defensive autopilot roles, signal reactions that contribute to energy leaks and drains, perpetuating disempowering patterns and the guilt, shame, blame, name games. And so, that's what I'm working with. And so, enjoy, value, love, appreciates. So looking at what I value, what I appreciate, what brings me joy, what really does, what does live in joy, and what do I appreciate and value about that, and choose to live in joy and true joy. Live your love and appreciate all the chances to love and appreciate life and all the love we are. What if we started sharing and focusing on the gifts and the love that we are? Instead of oh man, I wish that person didn't believe that, or what, what if, because of the gift that I got to receive for my birthday and that was offered to me, and I showed up to receive intimacy and sharing, authentic sharing, and loving and giving and receiving with a beautiful group of women. Through the heart. Through that power of our hearts and that power of our love. That connection to who we really are, and that truth that lives within us. That's who we are. So what if we started to focus on those things that we really love and appreciate about each other, and the gifts that have been given, the gifts that we have been able to share through all this love that we are, and through each individual, through their gifts, and the collective gifts that we do all share. And so how would that be a different focus and a different place to come from, to operate from, to cooperate, and to come together in certain ways. We could still agree to disagree on certain beliefs and things and choices that we make, but could we come from that place of appreciation and love and care of man, I really see past this person's baggage, or this person's beliefs, or the image, that self-image, or the projections of those labels and those names, and I really see into their heart, into their love, into who they are, and this is who they are for me, and this is and this is who they really are, because it's interesting. So could we look at those things, and could we choose those things, to choose to be aware, when we're judging them, and instead use care and redirect and use discernment, and start to listen and see what it is we really need, coming home back to ourselves, bringing it back to ourselves. And maybe it's a boundary, or maybe it's just something we get to offer, or something that needs to change within that relationship, and just appreciate that. Maybe it's just a shift of attitude, or a shift of perception, or shifting or moving into acceptance of certain things that we can't change or that we can't control. And why would we try to control and limit or dishonor or disallow that other person's growth and experience, and and their right to choose to be as they are, and to allow them to be as they are, and to let things be as they are, and to let them unfold through all they are to what they get to become. And so it's just in a way, if we try and control or clamp down or force or coerce someone else or even ourselves into something that's not true for us. Like, what kind of harm are we doing to ourselves, to the other, and to our relationships? Yeah. So look at that. And so what if we started sharing and focusing on the gifts we are and what we love about ourselves and each other, like having that be the focus. What do we really love about ourselves and each other? Instead of picking of, oh, this part isn't good enough, or this part's wrong, or this part isn't, like blame that part of myself and keep perpetuating like this game of suffering. And so why do we feel the need to punish each other and ourselves over and over again, like for the things we can't change? So can we just focus on certain things that we get to love and live and be, empowering ourselves and sharing that love and generosity, that true generosity, that spirit of generosity. So extending, offering, and giving and receiving, opening up the space for genuine compliments and genuine interest and care to be expressed. Thanks, praise, well wishes, salutations, happy greetings, authentic exchanges, and cheers. Trust, respect, and extended for oneself and the other, and all the love we share, all the love we are, all the love we get to give, be, receive, all the love I am, all the love thou art, all the love we are, a love forgiven always. And so, that's a different place and a different place to start. So like messages, restart, restar. Love is who you are. Remember, and be all that you are. So, a couple other cards that came up. Desire. So it was choice, the Father, death and rebirth, and desire. And any other cards. The Father feels spot on. And allow others their autonomy. You cannot control others' thoughts, feelings, behavior. Allow others the space and the freedom to learn, grow, live, be, choose, experience, change, and become all they are. Oh, and this card, of course, had a beautiful description and summary of the father archetype. And it made me think, of course, of my own loving dad and how much I appreciate him. So just all this love all around and within, always. And so a lot of the, a lot of other messages that are coming in right now. Something that made me cry. Oh my gosh. I cried a lot yesterday. It was tears of pain and it was tears of joy. And it was all the things. Everything coming up yesterday. Like all of it. And I made the room and the space for all of it to be. And it was like so fluid and so free. And so it wasn't as hard as it used to be, like to allow myself all my feelings and to feel them and to meet them and express them and just to let them move through me. So certain things are like lightening up and getting easier and feeling like more true and more right and aligned with me. So yay. So I was going to look at Penguin because of stuff going on in my dreams and like working with certain dreams, lucid dreaming and the dream body and the dream weave. And also like, certain synchronicities about the goddess and her dream, awakening from her dream, and the act of dreaming, capital D. The dream time. So I got this book the other day and started it, and I'm blown away. Not in His Image, John Lamb Lash. Gnostic Vision, Sacred Ecology, and the Future of Belief. So, oh my God, and oh my goddess. Holy wellspring, that's a must read. I've dived in there deeply. I flipped open this page the other day, right when I got it, and it was exactly what I needed. And I just been reading from that space of where I opened it from. And where I opened it was 140. Yeah, and I've gone into, yeah, maybe 33 pages, actually. That's funny. I read 33 pages yesterday, but I wrote a lot down about like what I was getting from that. And like the story of the goddess, like from the Nag Hammadi, and the 9 like little parts of the story. And there, it just made me cry, and it made me bawl. Not like identifying with any of the story, really. It was just something like an old memory that had to come through, and I just made the room for it just to be. And that's happened to me before when I've picked up old texts, and I'm like, I remember this and I know this, and it just like touches something in me, like this truth within me that like, yes, thank you for helping me remember what's really true, and the truth, like the eternal truth of who we really are. Yes. And how loved and beloved we all are. So, yeah, just looking into all these things. But Badger, so I flipped open my Animal Speak book to look at Penguin again, to work with Penguin about the dreaming. And so, yeah, I did. There is so much about that in here, about dreaming and the goddess's dream and her fall and all those things. And so it's really interesting. Yeah, all these synchronicities and the emanation and the emergence. Yeah, and the mythos, the creation myth, and the emergence mythos. Yeah, so might go into that next time about how that's all been so magical and profound for me, because I've been seeing those things, those archetypal themes, and those messages show up in my digital art and what I'm working on. And I just see it unfolding in the most perfect ways now, how it all relates and how it is like a leap of faith and a labor of love and devotion to be here and to trust this and to let go, and how beautiful it really is. But I know it's like, man, it's scary sometimes, but like just remembering like that faith, and that I am like held in all this, and to make the space like for all these changes and for all this expansion into ourselves, and all we get to be and all we get to choose, give, create, share, and receive, and honor, emanate, and regenerate for ourselves, for the whole, through the whole. So love for all. So Badger came up for me yesterday, and I hadn't remembered watching this or reading this or going into this, but I really, really needed it yesterday, and it really was profound for me to receive. So I'll just close with some Badger medicine. And yeah, Badger helps us like with our aggression, how to channel that and use it to exact a cure for healing. And is like some awesome energy that I got to claim or reclaim. Yeah, I really needed help with that. Yeah, and self-confidence and really standing in my power. So Badger is the keeper of the stories and the keeper of the medicine roots and the keeper of wisdom, and is close to the earth. And so Badger, this is just some of what I wrote down from Animal Speak by Ted Andrews. So Badger medicine: bold self-expression, reliance, keeper of the stories, medicine roots, healing, and the word. The stories people tell have a way of taking care of them. If stories come to you, care for them. And so there has been some stories coming up, and some stories that I've offered to others just because it was intuitive and expression, and it was to bless, and it was like, yeah, just listening to my intuition and allowing it to come through in the way that it was authentically meant to, and not changing the message. Yeah. just because I think, no, maybe it'll sound better this way, but no, like allowing that story to come through, because that's caring, expressing that care through that authentic message. And so Badger, keeper of the stories and the medicine roots, healing and the word. The stories people tell have a way of taking care of them. If stories come to you, care for them and learn to give them away where they are needed. Sometimes a person needs a story more than food to stay alive. And that is why we put these stories in each other's memory. Just like that story of the goddess. This is how people care for themselves. And that's an excerpt from Barry Lopez, from the book Crow and Weasel that Ted Andrews included in his Badger Medicine entry. Badger may reflect a time of greater connection to the earth and its animal spirits. It may be telling you to draw upon the stories that intrigued you and held you fast during childhood. They may be symbolic of things going on or about to go on in your current life. Whenever Badger shows up, there will be opportunities to develop self-expression and reliance. It speaks of a time to begin to tell a new story about yourself and your life. So tell new stories. Tell new stories about yourself and your life and project, that new self-image of that self-respect and that wholeness. And that self-care and that self-love and, that true empathy, for the self. In all our images, it's very interesting to tie that into stories and image and imagination and perception and belief. And so I wish all well today, and I wish them peace. I wish all of us well. Bless us all. May we all be well. There's a lot more to share, but I will come back and share more when I have more time to share all the other beautiful, amazing gems and nuggets and streams that have been coming in for me, all this spiritual wealth and currency, all this beauty that I've made the space, the room for. That spirit is always offering so generously, always, always, always. So grateful, and I'm so appreciative of all the love and all the changes and all the love we share, all the love we are and get to be, all that we are and are becoming. All, always, always, always. So be well, love y'all. Okay, bye for now. Talk to you soon.